What is a performance tax? A performance tax is a fee that record labels want the government to impose on local radio stations simply for airing music free of charge to listeners. According to the National Association of Broadcasters, in recent years, the record labels have seen sales of albums decline as more listeners are opting for digital downloads. However, radio remains the #1 promotional vehicle for music. Radio is not responsible for the label's resistance to the digital age, and it shouldn't be on the hook to fix it. Radio already provides $1.5 to $2.4 billion in music sales for artists. By pushing a tax on local radio, record labels are biting the hand that feeds them. The performance tax on free radio will negatively affect the radio stations, new artists, and the local community. The performance tax on free radio can eventually cause local radio stations to go out of business because of the high costs. According to John Romero, a reporter for Fox News, it could cost radio stations about $33 million statewide. This fee would apply to radio stations that make more than $1.25 million a year. This fee would be split between the record label and the artist. Many record labels are from a foreign country, and therefore they would be getting 50% of the tax money. Second, new artists use local radio to promote music. For example, Colorado Broadcaster Association President Marilyn Hogan said, "Stations could go completely with a talk format, and your favorite radio station may not be playing the diversity of music you want to hear." Also, radio personality Tom Joyner says, "The bill could almost certainly spell the end for local music because the additional costs would discourage the activities that help promote artists' work." Lastly, the performance tax will negatively affect the local community. Because of the high costs, a variety of the music that could be played on the radio will be greatly reduced. Local radio is also a major contributor to the public service. It generates $6 billion in public service annually and provides vital news, community information, and free airtime to help local charities. If a tax were imposed, stations' public and community service efforts could be greatly reduced. Many Americans are employed by the local radio, and their job may be in jeopardy. 106,000 Americans are employed by local radio today. Some analysts estimate that this tax could be at $2 to $7 billion annual, which may lead to many layoffs. Radio already compensates composers and songwriters about $550 million annually. It's widely understood that songwriters do not have the same name recognition to financially exploit themselves to make money. Performers make money from touring, personal appearances, merchandise, and other licensing and branding opportunities like perfume and clothing lines. Congress has continually recognized local radio as being different and should not be subject to this kind of fee. Local radio is free, and regardless of income, everyone can have access to it. Local radio also has to fulfill certain public service obligation that others do not. Lastly, radio provides free promotion to the record labels and artists. By opposing this tax, Americans will be able to stay employed, local radio will be able to play the diversity of music that listeners want to hear, and new artists will be able to break through the music scene.